put your camera on.
How do I do that?
It says start
There it
video. There
is.
you are. I'm Tessa Pearson, Jack's Lily Wolter, and this is Tim.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Are
confusing.
you guys siblings?
Yeah.
Is that Josh in the background?
Hi.
Yeah, I met
Yes,
Josh.
Josh. What's up, Josh? Hi, Tim. I'm Jack.
What's up, Jack?
Thanks for having us.
No problem, man. I love you. What you guys got going on?
How
Oh.
cool is Tim's background?
Yeah, how do you do that? Is it green screen?
I honestly, I want to change it to something else because I have a background that says, because we're No Cover magazine, but we made one that a logo that says No COVID, like
Nice.
just to fool around. I wanted to put that on there, but I can't even remember how to do it. So got to sit down with it.
It could get dangerous.
Yeah.
with the option.
Lily was telling me about the petrol situation out where you guys are at.
Yeah, it's bad, man. I mean, yeah, I was just watching the news and it's yeah, I feel really sorry for all the people that, all the taxi drivers and the people that are doing like couriers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's weird, man. It kind of feels like a zombie film or something.
And that's like a lot, like in America for side jobs, we do Uber, like Uber Eats, we deliver food, or Uber is just pretty much using your own car as a taxi. And
Yeah.
a lot, I mean, if that would happen here, so many people would lose a lot of income.
Yeah, man. I know. Yeah, it's just Brexit and it's kind of messed everything up a little bit. I guess in America, like you could get all your fuel from
America.
Yeah, whereas over here,
You guys have to reach out to other countries.
yeah, exactly. I actually don't think they make any over here. Maybe they do a small amount, but not. I think they get most of it from elsewhere. So yeah, it's a bit of an issue, man. But apparently they're getting the army in to like bring it over and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it's gone a bit mad. But
Man, well, first, I just want to say my heart's with you guys. Let's hope you guys make it through this shit. We all got to make it through everything recently. It's like every single step every month is a new thing to get through.
Yeah,
but
we'll do it.
How did
help?
So you guys were just brother and sister and like, let's make music. What is the story behind it?
Well, we were both into music, sort of in separate ways growing up. Like I was more into classical and jazz. I started playing saxophone when I was younger, and then
I love saxophone. Some of my favorite.
Saxophone's great, isn't it? I've sadly sort of neglected it over the years, and I'm definitely not as good as I was when I was about 17, 18. But I can still make a couple of notes.
Yeah, she's been modest. She literally does play on the record. There's a couple of she does still play it now and then, but more kind of in like an abstract, like creative way, rather than like.
Yeah. And then Jack was more sort of you were in bands from a young age, weren't you? You were sort of more you sort of grew up more on rock music, and then when Jack came back from uni, because there's 6 years between us, Jack came back from uni and we started a band together. He taught me how to play bass and sort of got me into the world of sort of alternative rock, and then that's when we started making music. I was about 16 and you were about 22.
Yeah, that was basically it. And then we started the band, and yeah, then Lily started kind of writing. She started writing like kind of songs, like little songs. They kind of started off as like little ideas, and we kind of helped each other. Well, I helped her kind of produce some of her early stuff, and then that basically turned into Penelope Isles. We both had a bunch of songs, and then we both kind of combined and we started this project. So that's kind of how it started.
That's amazing. That like there's music that sort of reminds me of your band, and both of them, they have my favorite like saxophone solos in them. M83 have you heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't really know much music. I've definitely heard of them.
They're
M83.
M8 and then 3 83 M83. they have a song called Midnight City, and at the end of it has a ridiculous solo, and the guy's from France actually. And then Pink Floyd, Us and Them.
Cool, man.
You guys give me that vibe, you know, maybe like a shoegaze synth, like I love it. It's more of a vibe. You put it on, you roll the windows down, you have a cigarette while you're driving on a freeway type music.
Oh man, well that's really cool, man. Thank you. Like to be compared and ever, you know, just yeah, to Pink Floyd. I mean, that's an honor. So that's very kind of you. Thank you.
And that's a big compliment as well, because some of the like our favorite songs are like that kind of like classic road trip sort of like krautrocky, like just chugging away songs like War on Drugs and sort of Wilco, sort of, you know, that keeping going positive, like friends in the van vibe, you know. So thanks.
Yeah, Siggy's out the window on a road trip.
I've been trying to like nail down a time with you guys, and it's always been like, because the time difference is so off with, you know, UK and California especially. So I think the first single was Sailing Still on this new album, and then the album due out November 5th, 2021, Which Way to Happy. The Sailing Still, I want to talk about it. The video reminds me of an old TV show called Tales from the Dark Side. And I love it. I love how the whole song, the whole album, or the whole song is ramping up to the end. And so how do you guys create this song? Like, what are the steps you guys make while creating this type of music?
This one I think actually has like created over quite a long period of time, and as out of all the songs on the record, like this one has been a sort of very gradual build. Like I wrote this song about like 4 years ago, I think, when I met someone and sort of was feeling those exciting feelings, and it was like a long distance relationship and stuff. And then I finished writing the song like years later when we said goodbye to each other. So like lyrically, like it really has been on quite a journey, and the whole second half of the song is instrumental, and me and Jack, we wrote that together, like with the band. And so yeah, it's been actually quite a collaborative tune, this one.
I think with the video as well, we really wanted to kind of like replicate that with what Lily just said, in terms of like the whole set, with it being Sailing Still, you know, whether it be like in that relationship she was in, you know, kind of like maybe not getting anywhere, or maybe you are walking through these doors, you are moving, and you are experiencing certain you know, situations in life, like good things, bad things, whatever, but essentially you're back to square one again where you started, kind of thing. So we tried to do that with the video.
So let me get this, I just want to make sure I'm understanding it right. So you started writing this song when you first met this special somebody, and then you put it on hold until you broke up with the guy, and then you continued the song.
I basically wrote it, you're correct, the first part, but then when we were recording the album, and me and Jack we spent a week at our parents' recording all the vocals in our mum's laundry cupboard. And, you know, there was a section like that we were like, this doesn't feel right, and it kind of just doesn't really resonate anymore. So, and we were both Jack and I were going through a hard time at this point, and we kind of wrote these lyrics together about like just the struggles of it all. So
yeah, the song it's changed over time, you know, whilst still working at it. I guess it's taken like 4 years to write, and throughout that 4 years, like situations have changed, so the song has changed with it, and so the song's always been changing up until I think that point we were actually recording, you know, laying down the final take, you know, what the song is essentially gonna be, especially that recorded version. That was like the final bit of the story, I guess. So yeah, just the circumstances changed throughout the song whilst writing the song, I guess, over the years.
So during the creation of the album, you guys are both dealing with heartbreak.
yeah,
Yeah, difficult times, I think. I
Is
mean,
it hard when you're artists, like to really put to words your feelings? Like when you're in the midst of it, like when you're really, you know, checking your phone every 10 seconds to see if that person texted you or called you, or is that what's happening?
I think personally, I mean, Lily and I have different ways of writing. We actually don't really write together that much, but I think for me personally, it's more like abstract. I think it's quite hard for me to kind of, especially with like, well, lyrically, it's really hard to kind of be really honest. And well, I'm honest with myself, but I feel like I disguise it a little bit in maybe a way that you're not directly saying how you feel, because
you don't want to hurt that person, maybe.
well, yeah, not even that, as I guess, yeah, definitely that actually, I guess, but also I don't know, it's like private and like,
yeah,
hard to talk about stuff and like write honest music sometimes, because it's a really weird feeling, really weird.
Have you ever tried to do that and just not release it, just to see what comes out?
Actually, recently, I think Lily and I have both written some much more honest stuff. I mean, saying that, Lily's different to me. I think Lily's kind of, there's a track on the new record called 1111, which is just heartbreakingly honest. You know, it's like, it doesn't get much more kind of to the point, really, I think.
You gotta see that one.
But yeah, that was a kind of
I think as well, like it was despite us going through quite a hard time, both of us, it was like we almost needed, like it was great for us to have this project, this album, to channel all these feelings into, whereas a lot of people don't have something like that, and they find themselves like a bit like, what am I supposed to do with all of these like thoughts and energy? And maybe if you're like you don't do creative stuff, or you're in other, you know, and you can't like get it out, whereas we luckily had like this album to sort of just bloody forget about it, try and like fucking just channel it all into this thing, which helped in a lot of ways for us both.
How did the pandemic and COVID-19 affect the band?
Oh, massively, really. I mean, like the obvious being we couldn't play any shows, but yeah, I think the isolation side of it was really hard for us, because we were all together, because we'd planned on recording anyway, but obviously time went on, so we were still together. And yeah, like we went through a lot, you know. We had a lineup change, you know. We've got new members in the band since the pandemic. Yeah, I think it was tough, but also I'm glad that we've done it, because we've kind of got to a certain point now where we're really ready to start touring again. And I think we kind of went through a bit of a tough time, but I feel because of that, we are just so much more ready to do it and to kind of get back at it. So yeah, it was definitely a bit tricky.
But yeah, it did give us that time to sort of like just like make a few changes that in the real world would maybe be a little bit stressful whilst having like so much on, because we normally have so much on, you know. We're always touring, well, you know, so it was nice to sort of have a little bit of time to sort of sort ourselves
Yeah,
out.
you almost couldn't escape certain situations and certain.
And
I think
when you guys were writing, is this while you guys are at the cottage?
we kind of written most of the songs. Definitely the core of the songs, like the kind of structures and most of the lyrics, and kind of, you know, kind of 80% of the song was written and ready to go. But yeah, we did a lot of decorating and coming up with ideas, and like texturally, we spent many hours kind of like messing around with like amps, different amps, pedals, lots of different keyboards.
What's the length of time you guys are spending there?
I think we were there for 3 months. I think no, 2.5 months. We only been there for like 5 weeks, but because we Jane, the lady we rented the cottage off, this a friend of a friend, you know, originally we just booked it for like a month. Was it a month, 3 weeks or something?
3 weeks we originally booked it for, which is crazy because we definitely need longer than that.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, because no one could come on holiday, so like she was like, "Do you want to stay?" And we were like, "Well, yeah, let's stay." And then so I think we're there for at least 2 months, I think.
And when you guys are there, when you guys are recording, because I've done stuff like this before, like I have, you know, I do shows and I put together, you know, television shows and comedy sketches, and every time we like, all right, we're gonna have a secluded, like we're only us for 2 weeks, we're going to, and it never ends up being the way I envision it to be. Like in my head, it's like, all right, there's a group of people outside, there's a group of people inside, and they're all doing their own thing and laying down and taking naps when they want, and then writing things down, and then we'll get together at the end of the day, and we'll say, this is what we came up with. And it always just ends up being everybody drinking and smoking weed and just being assholes. So how did it go for you guys? And if it went positive, how do you guys keep a structure?
I'll let Lily go for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we sort of thought, like, you know, you never know how, you can't predict the future, but I think we did think it would be a different experience to the experience that we did have. I didn't think we would realize how hard it would be, because we were staying in like this really small, beautiful cottage, but like we were all rotating who got the bed every night and who got the sofa and who got the floor. And obviously we weren't allowed to like go anywhere. Obviously we weren't even allowed to go to the beach. Like we were so isolated. We were in the middle of just like countryside fields, and it wasn't very comfortable for us, you know. We were isolating, but like didn't have our own rooms. And then there was kind of like yeah, I mean, for me, like I play keyboards and I sing, so for literally the first like 3 weeks, I kind of felt like I didn't really have much to contribute, because you start with like drums and bass and then guitar, and then all my stuff kind of came in the last like few months of making the record, you know. And then I was like, it was all me. Not all me, but like I was playing a lot on it. So yeah, we didn't really know what to expect, and I think we just took every day as it comes. We decided to do one song at a time as well. I think that was structurally what we aimed to go for, as opposed to doing all the drums for all the songs, all the bass for all the songs. We decided to do one song and build up and then move on to another song, maybe like 4 or 5 days later. It all kind of feels like a bit of a blur now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely completely different, like you said, like to how we would have, you know, kind of imagine it to be. And you know, we're getting excited about going to the cottage. It definitely took a lot longer, and there were a lot more like, yeah, it was much more difficult than we ever thought. But it was an amazing, you know, I wouldn't change it, man. I wouldn't change the way we did it, because the next one we do, we know like how, you know, how not to do stuff. And
yeah,
also I think like as people and like humans, and kind of just like certain situations, like personally, like, you know, like kind of not musically, I'm talking about just like hanging out with people. Like, I think we learned a lot that time, definitely.
Yeah, we did. There was a lot of like drunken, just like
Yeah,
a lot of booze.
that.
a lot
Next
of
question.
Which Way to Happy? This is your second album. What does it mean to you? What does this album mean to you guys individually?
I think for me, like, it's been a bit of an anchor, I think, and I think, like Lily said before, something to focus on whilst very much dealing with like personal like situations and happiness, basically, you know, dealing with how happy, you know, questioning your own happiness and having it as an output and something to be able to focus on whilst doing that. I think it was quite a, yeah, that's what it means for me. It's kind of, I guess, like an anchor or like a safe place that we could be whilst dealing with certain stuff. Obviously COVID as well, like, you know, just yeah, that's how I feel. That's what the album is for me, I guess.
I think, yeah, to be honest, that really, really similar for me, that answer. But also I feel like when I started making this, I felt like I think I was like quite a different person to who I am now. Like I feel like I've done quite a bit of growing up and maturing, I guess, and I just need, yeah, I feel like I've sorted quite a few bits out in my life now, and yeah, I think I feel like quite a different person to when we started, as well as what Jack said.
I think like musically as well, and how it sounds sonically. Sorry, I think that really it kind of translates as well, like compared to our first album. Like for us, like we're you know, like I quite happily say like we're really happy with how it sounds, like in terms of like the production our end, but also like what Dave Fridmann did with the mixing side of it. Like, so I feel like that kind of reflects in how Lily feels as well as a person. Like I feel that the music's kind of,
yeah,
you know, it's changed for the better as well.
Josh, you agree? Josh is nodding.
Thanks, Josh.
And then my last question is the name Penelope Isles. Where did you guys get that, and what is it?
It's our mum. She's called Penelope, and it's her birthday today. So,
Happy birthday, Penelope!
Yeah, and we're from the Isle of Man, so we linked them together, and it sounded pretty cool. Although I've just started calling. I don't know if you noticed, Jack, but I've sort of started calling us Penny Isles. Like, obviously, we call the band Penny Isles, but like, I very rarely say Penelope Isles now.
Yeah, it's just easier, isn't it? It is a bit of a mouthful as well. I feel like, especially when we go like to different countries as well, like people like struggle to say Penelope Isles. But yeah, we've just made some merch recently that says Penny Isle, so you can whichever one you want to go for, basically. But
I love that. I love the name. It's fresh.
You. Thank you.
It's awesome. It's awesome to say Penelope Isles.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. This will go in our October issue or November issue.
Cool.
Perfect. And, perfect timing.
Right on time for your 11/5 drop.
Yeah, dude.
I think we're going to be coming your way next year as well. I'm going to be announced.
Let's add each other on social media, and I have a radio show out here.
Some
kind of podcast. So when you're out in this area, yes, let's link up. And then I also book a lot of, you know, cool places. So if it's at the right time where I have something cool happening, then we'll hook you guys up.
That'll be amazing, man. Is it no cover on? Is it on Instagram or?
Yeah, No Cover Magazine Ventura.
Okay, I'll find it, man.
VT.
Whereabouts in California are you, Tim?
We're about 45 minutes from Los Angeles.
Cool. Well, we've got a show happening in LA, definitely. So we'll put you on the guest list.
All right, we'll be there. We'll send a team there, and hopefully I'll be there, and I get to shake your guys' hands.
Oh, it'd be nice to meet you, man. Yeah, thanks so much for having us. It's been really nice. Thank you.
And hey, anytime you guys need anything, any kind of support, or let me know. Just hit me up, and I'll be there for you guys.
Oh, thanks, Tim. Oh, you're lovely.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
You guys are amazing. Well, be safe out there. You guys are in my thoughts, especially with the gas thing. And go get them. 11-5.
Yeah, nice one, dude. Cool. Nice one.
All right,
Have a great day.
You too. Good night.
Yeah.
Bye, Jack.
Bye,
Bye, Tim.